Why is your last name Smith? You're not white. Right? I know. I'm thinking the same damn thing. Actually, no, it's probably not what you're thinking. I actually do know a lot about myself, but I'm just gonna go ahead and get right into this video. I was thinking that, as you can see by the title, why is your last name Smith? You're not white. I was thinking that that's a pretty damn racist thing to say. And I quoted it because that's what my brother and I would get frequently. So I finally decided to come out and explain my truth behind my white last name. I just do want to let you know that I'm going to talk a little history. I'll try to speed right through it, but it's very important, so I do suggest that you just stick right through it, and then I'll get right into it. It shouldn't take too long too. But first of all, this country that I'm talking about, it lies in the sub-region of the Pacific Ocean called Micronesia. This includes Palau, Nauru, Kiribati, the Wake Islands, Guam, as well as the CNMI, or Saipan. And with the FSM, specifically in the 1900s during the Spanish-American War, this caused Spain to sell the islands to the Germans. Then it became the German New Guinea, and then World War I happened. During World War I, the Japanese came in and claimed the island. World War II, Operation Hailstone, or the bombing of Pearl Harbor, happened, and then eventually the UN agrees that the US should administer the FSM as a trust territory. Basically, for the four cousins, Yap, Chuk, Pohnpei, and Khosrae, they agreed to join to create a constitution. So this means yay for independence. And then they signed the Compact of Free Association with the U.S. in around the end of 1980s. And basically what that means is that the U.S. plays the biggest trade partner, the biggest role for the overall development and infrastructure of the FSM. This means that the Micronesians also have access to U.S. services. They can move freely to and from U.S. soil to live and work in each other's countries. They're also allowed to serve in the military, although they wouldn't get the same benefits that U.S. citizens in the military would. U.S. Military service men and women would. Essentially, you can see a lot of fragments or traces and remnants of former colonizers and their society. An obvious example is speaking English in an American accent. Also, keeping up with the American entertainment, media, and trends. They also like rice. They like eating rice, which was introduced by various nations, mostly the Japanese. Also, a majority of the FSM population are born into the Christian religion, which was introduced by the Germans, Americans, and the Spanish. Basically, to wrap things up, it's a lot of outside influence, basically. And with this, I mentioned a lot of history here. Well, not a lot of history, some history, but. And you're probably wondering, like, why the hell is she giving me a history lesson right now? Maybe not. You can probably already guess what I'm gonna say next. But honestly, it has taken a lot for me to even come out and be open to speaking about this, freely. I'm, almost 25, and it's just strange that in this day and age, I still find it hard to, be open about where I'm from. Like, that's insane. It's so insane to me. But, the reality is, it was tough. It was tough, and I'll get more into detail on that soon. But to carry on with my last name, ultimately, my dad was born in Weno, which is the largest city in the FSM. It is located in Chuk. My mom was born in Ilocos Norte, which is located in the Philippines, and obviously that makes me half Chukese and half Filipino. Yeah. And so the last name Smith, I mentioned the Germans earlier, and so the last name Smith was derived from the Germans when they occupied Chuuk in like the 1900s. Don't quote me on the dates, but it's sometime when the Germans occupied Chuuk. You know, and so my brother and I, we were both born on the island of Guam. I can confirm that Guam is a part of Micronesia. And the reason why I even made this video and why I keep saying it was tough growing up there, growing up on Guam, is because if you are from Guam, you would know that the stigma that the Chuukese population have on the island, you would know about that stigma, basically. And it sucks, and it has bothered me for some time now that it's taken me so long to speak about this. And when I say speak about this, I'm not talking about making this video. I'm talking about, you know, when people ask me the question, why is your last name Smith? You know, I always found it difficult to say my truth, so I would take the easy route and say, you know, yes, I am white, my dad's white. And, you know, that's honestly the biggest fucking lie I could ever say. And it bugs me every time, and I'm not proud of it, nor am I proud of enabling the stigma that we Chuukese people have on the islands and other parts of the world. And, you know, till recently, I've gotten the privilege of meeting some of my Chuukese family members out here, and they're generally some of the nicest, most kind people I've ever met. And my dad is the best man, the best father I feel I could ever have. I love him to death. I wouldn't trade him for anything, really. I'm also talking about this because, you know, living out here in the States, I get reminded by every bit of adversity and discrimination that I've experienced while living back home in Guam, you know, except it's because I'm not white. So basically, I have felt the racism at both ends of the spectrum, from the very place I call my home, Guam, for being a part of an ethnic group that doesn't necessarily have the best reputation, and also out here in the States, simply because I'm not white. Honestly though, like, fuck the racism. Forget the racist shit you had to say about Chuukese people. I really don't want to hear it. Again, this ignorant attitude and behavior resembles and is remnants of our colonizers. You know, like, I hear news on Guam wanting to push for independence. Like, yeah, that's great, you know, do it. And so I think instead of making Chuukese hammer, black magic, love stick jokes about your fellow Micronesians, you know, why don't you look to your brothers and sisters of Chuuk or the Federated States of Micronesia to see how they've done it? You know, like, I love Guam. It's my home. I love the Chamorro culture. I have many Chamorro friends, a lot of which who say I'm more Chamorro than their counterparts or their equals. You know, in fact, I've taken like 2 years of Chamorro in college. I mean, not like that matters anything. I'm just gonna throw it out there. Yeah, so I'm really not trying to offend anybody, offend or attack anybody. I'm literally just speaking my truth, because I haven't been able to do so for such a very long time. And of course, you know, not only is it because of my environment, it's also, you know, I'm held accountable for it. I let it get to me, and I've finally gotten to a place where I'm just proud of who I am, proud of the person I've become, proud of my family, proud of my parents. You know, I'm just happy. And yeah, I've kept silent for too long. And really, if there's anyone out there who has concerns or wants to speak out about certain issues that bothers them or they're passionate about, I so highly encourage and challenge you to do it. I really do. I applaud you in advance for anybody who chooses to do so. You know, I also have many friends out here from Guam, many colleagues, coworkers who I love and who loves me dearly, but they don't even know who I am. You know, that's the crazy part. Because if they knew, you know, probably would love me more or hate me, who knows, you know. I probably wouldn't even have to be offended or take too much offense to the Chukish jokes that they make. You know, I'm not trying to call out anybody here, I'm just, you know, I'm just saying. Just, yeah, knowing that they know, it's just like a lot of peace. Anyway, yeah, I think I pretty much covered everything I wanted to. I didn't want to get too much into detail on what it was like growing up, but I think I covered grounds for this video and answered the title of this video. If you have any questions, concerns, feel free to like this video first, subscribe maybe. Who knows what else I post on this, and then comment what you want to say. I don't want any negativity, no one needs that. Yeah, and I really, frankly, wouldn't care. Alright.